We have a guest joining us. It is Sonu Sood. We are amid a deadlier wave this year, but the one thing hasn't changed, and that is how Sonu Sood continues to help out people. Sonu, thank you for speaking to Republic yet again. I'm looking forward to this chat. But before we start talking on all the work that you're doing now, let's show our viewers a glimpse of how you're helping during the second wave.
Actor Sonu Sood has emerged as a beacon of hope for lakhs during the pandemic. Sonu Sood's journey began last year when he arranged transport for migrants to return home when all other means shut down. The actor also launched the Pravasi Rojgar app to help workers find job opportunities across various sectors. He was conferred with the prestigious Special Humanitarian Action Award by the United Nations for his philanthropic services. Continuing his philanthropic efforts, Sonu Sood is providing oxygen concentrators and airlifted a COVID patient for special treatment. In his bid to support rural India, Sonu Sood is now setting up 2 new oxygen plants in Andhra Pradesh. From playing heroic roles on the silver screen to being a hero in real life, Sonu Sood's humanitarian efforts have helped millions in the country during such grim times. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Sonu, so I straight away want to understand from you that it started more or less last year when the issues for migrant workers had happened and you started helping them out, and then you helped people out so much that people started reaching to you from every corner. But this year in the second wave, the challenges have been different. Explain to us how that is.
Yes, Yusha, this year, the numbers were more. In the first wave, it was only about migrants and their job and the healthcare. So I connected with millions of people, trying to give them education or supporting them in their employment or healthcare. But when the second wave hit, it's not just about the migrants, it's about the rich and famous, the middle class people. So they were running for oxygen, for hospital beds, for ICUs, for ventilators, for medicines. So everyone started reaching out. So the demand for all these things multiplied manifolds because they thought, I can only reach out to the right people to make things happen. So I think it was a huge challenge for me also, and people were losing lives. So it was not that you can ask them to wait for a day or two and then you'll get back to them. It's about every minute that counts. People are waiting in an ambulance or without an ambulance or without an oxygen cylinder in front of the hospital. So I think that was very challenging, very stressful also, because you know that you have to save a life and it continues.
But Sonu, like you said, that last year when you had started out, and of course mobilizing things on the ground was new and difficult, but over a period of this time, there is also more familiarity, a greater network that you've built in that time. But then this year, the needs are different. Greater need for oxygen support, medicines, moving patients around, and how you've actually helped airlift a patient. So how are you now helping with mobilizing this kind of support?
I'm learning every single day, Suresha. All these millions of people whom I connected in the first way became my volunteers in some part of the country, in the interiors where the reach is not there. I used to call them for an oxygen cylinder. I said, boss, just pick up a scooter, put an oxygen cylinder, and you have to go 60, 70 kilometers and deliver it to a needy and save a life. So I had I would say the strength was more this time, but the need also multiplied because the sources were not there. Even if you have people to deliver an oxygen cylinder, you need that oxygen cylinder. Even if you have those oxygen cylinders, you need oxygen in those cylinders. So, and if the bed is not there and all the beds in the hospital are occupied, so there's no way you can arrange a bed. So the network had to be a 24/7 thing live. that a bed has to be arranged in Delhi, Ghaziabad, or NCR, or UP, Bangalore, whichever. So you just need to put those patients in right priorities to save a life. So I feel there was more of a homework that I needed for this particular thing, because lives mattered in this particular way.
So, no, this time around, you've also announced that you're helping with the setup of an oxygen plant at Kurnool and Nellore hospitals, and that is happening in June. Please tell us more about it.
We have realized that oxygen was the main problem that everyone faced with the, most of the hospitals. They rely on liquid oxygen. They have the cylinders, or they have to get these cylinders refilled when they need for a patient. And when the oxygen is not available, so they're running from pillar to post to get that arranged. So if we have these oxygen plants, which are oxygen generators in the hospital, so they make oxygen, and the oxygen is supplied to all the needy patients. So I thought, if we can get few oxygen plants to all these hospitals, which are somewhere in the rural side, which they're never going to get those plants ever. So I think that problem will be solved. So we started shortlisting a few hospitals. We have shortlisted few, and we are going to start the first two oxygen plants, first in Nellore and Kurnool in Andhra Pradesh. We will followed by Telangana, in Punjab, Uttarakhand, UP, and Bihar, and other Maharashtra also. So yes, we are shortlisting those right hospitals, and these oxygen plants will be installed somewhere in the month of June and July.
So, now from last year to this year, you think that we should have been better prepared? There was time to prepare. The governments, including the center and the states, have faltered. And how are people like you on the ground now helping bridge this gap?
It's a huge challenge. We know that the kind of the number of patients we saw on the streets multiplied, and there was no way the healthcare system was ready for that. And yes, we did our mistakes, with ignoring those COVID norms, and then we saw the worst. So yes, I feel the center and state government should have better prepared, or send those warnings to every citizen, that something like this is coming, and no one was prepared for that. And suddenly, when the COVID wave hit all of us, there was no way people could react to the whole the mammoth impact it had on your lives. And we have seen people losing every single member in the family, mother, father, grandfathers, parents, brothers, sisters, everyone is gone. And those families would never imagine 1.5, 2 months back, that something like this will happen, when the whole family will be struggling in the hospitals. And I think, I wish we were better prepared. But like I said, there's always a chance to prepare yourself and get ready for a better tomorrow. And it's time for our country to create a healthcare system which should be an example for the world. And I think that's the only way to bounce back.
So, now this is exactly what I wanted to talk to you about next. While the cases are plateauing, but the concern is now black fungus and how cases are on the rise. There is also talk about cases of white fungus, and now new information about a yellow fungus that is also coming. Preparation is on for a third wave, and like experts say, that the third wave is likely to hit children more. When you are getting privy to all this information, how are you preparing on the ground, and how long do you really see this going?
I feel that now we have to live with this. It's not something that you can ignore and you can lead a normal life, which you used to do. You have to set few rules in your life, that this is what we need to follow to stay safe. With the third wave coming in, I'm glad that the governments are planning, preparing for the third wave. But again, I think it's a responsibility of every individual citizen also, how to take care of the whole system. Your families, get sanitized, social distancing, wear a mask always. So I think these are a part of life that we need to live for, maybe I don't know how many years. But yes, and together we can save our families.
So, no, you've also gone on to say that sometimes you feel really helpless, and despite all the help that you're extending to people, it is distressing to see that you sometimes lose hope, the person who's giving hope to people. How is it that you tend to keep yourself positive? And what is the message you would like to give to people?
I stay positive all the time, but you somehow get connected with a case when you're trying to help needy. Like the girl in Nagpur, Bharti, whom we had gotten on an air ambulance on an ECMO with Hyderabad Apollo hospitals. So we were getting her treated for almost 20-25 days, and there was a solid ray of hope that she's going to bounce back. She was a young girl of 25 years old. But when she lost the battle, so we felt very sad that we couldn't save her. And there are many, many more cases. Every single day I speak to these patients. They use ventilators. I go on a video call with them, cheer up the families. I speak to the families. I speak to the doctors that everything is going on fine. And when suddenly we get the news that the patient is no more, so then I don't have the courage to call the families and give my condolences. Then maybe after a week, 10 days, 15 days, I call them and I say, sorry, we couldn't do that. But yeah, you feel so helpless because these people wanted to live. When I used to speak to them in the hospitals, they said, Sonu bhai, please aap bacha lijiyega hame. And I had promised them that I'm going to save them. And now when they're not around, I feel very sorry for the families. And they are going to live with with so much of sorrows that they couldn't get their kids a right hospital at the right time, or they couldn't provide oxygen. And imagine the kind of stress they'll be spending the rest of their life with.
Sonu, all sorts of people make a world. There is one set that complains, and the other kind of people like you who come out there and help. And while I say it is extremely important to make the governments accountable, it is also important to do your bit. How is it that you inspire people to come out there and help?
I feel okay. We have got the government elected for whatever they're doing, and they must be trying to do their bit. But it's also important for every single individual to take the responsibility on your shoulders and to do and give back to the society. That's why I chose this path. I never went into a zone where I'm going to sit and complain to the government that what kind of healthcare system it is, what kind of the whole process of getting these medicine is so tough. I thought I'll find a way. I'll try to find a bed for an individual. I'll try to find a medicine for people. I'll try to find oxygen cylinders and I did. And then slowly I got a hold of it, and I knew that everyone who needs, they're going to call me if they're not getting through the right system or channel, because every minute counts and people are losing their lives, people are losing their loved ones. So they connected with me, and I made sure that I left no stone unturned to make that happen. So that's what I'm doing every single minute, every single second.
Absolutely. And Sonu, there is a reason that people call you a real life hero. People look up to you and have hope in you when they come out there and ask you for help. There are so many people who send special messages for you. We want to play that out here on Republic.
मेरा ऑपरेशन डॉक्टर अश्विनी साहब ने किया है और सोनू सूद के दौरान ड्यूटी के हिसाब से मैं यहाँ पहुँची हूँ। तो मेरा ऑपरेशन हो गया है। पहले मेरे पैर बिल्कुल भी नहीं काम कर रहे थे। अब कोई भी टच करता है तो मेरे को महसूस होता है कि हाँ मेरे पैर में कोई टच कर रहा है। बट मेरे को जहाँ पर पेन होता था करवट लेने में, बैठने में, वो बिल्कुल अब रिलैक्स है, मेरे को पेन नहीं होता है।
मेरी मम्मी जी के लिए रेमडेसिविर इंजेक्शन सोनू सूद फाउंडेशन की तरफ से निःशुल्क प्रदान किया गया है आज, जो मुझे प्राप्त हो गया।
सोनू सर जो हेल्प कर रहे हैं वो रियलिटी है, दैट इज़ रियल। तो प्लीज़ गाइस, जो भी उनके नाम को ख़राब करना चाह रहा है, आई रियली रिक्वेस्ट यू प्लीज़ नॉट टू डू दैट। किसी बंदे जो सपोर्ट कर रहा है उसको प्लीज़ मत रोको। इफ़ यू आर नॉट एबल टू हेल्प, प्लीज़ डोंट हेल्प, बट एटलीस्ट डोंट स्पॉइल द नेम ऑफ अदर्स। थैंक यू सोनू सूद सर, आई रियली लव यू फ्रॉम द बॉटम ऑफ माई हार्ट।
एक फरिश्ता कहते हैं जैसे वो बनकर आए और मेरी फैमिली को एक कंडीशन से निकाला और उसमें इतनी हेल्प करी कि मैं उसका बयान भी नहीं कर सकती।
ट्विटर वगैरह पे सोनू सूद सर को टैग किया तो फिर उनकी ही टीम से एक कॉल आई आस्था जी की, जिन्होंने मेरे उस इंजेक्शन का सॉल्यूशन दिया और बहुत हेल्प की और बार बार कॉल करती रही, किसी भी चीज़ के लिए ज़रूरत हो, किसी भी चीज़ तो बताइए। तो मैडम ने, सोनू सूद की टीम ने बहुत हेल्प की।
सोनू सर मसीहा बन के सामने आए और उनकी टीम की तरफ से मनाया जी ने मेरे से संपर्क किया और उनकी सहायता से मम्मी को मैंने मिर्ज़ापुर से यहाँ इलाहाबाद सालाना हॉस्पिटल में भर्ती कराने में उन्होंने काफ़ी मदद की और सोनू सर की कृपा से मम्मी आज काफ़ी स्वस्थ हैं और आज उनकी रिपोर्ट नेगेटिव आई है। जल्द ही वो ठीक होकर घर भी जाएंगे।
सोनू सर का धन्यवाद। हम लोग को बहुत बहुत आभारी हूँ सोनू सर का, जो हमको इस मुश्किल घड़ी में काम आए। सोनू सर आपका बहुत बहुत हम आभारी हैं जो हमको बिहार भेज रहे हैं। हमारा वाइफ है, प्रेग्नेंट है और हमको कहीं बम्बई में कुछ जुगाड़ नहीं था, उसके लिए हम जा रहे हैं सोनू सर की कृपा से बिहार। धन्यवाद सोनू सर आपके लिए।
सोनू अंकल थैंक यू, आपने हमारे लिए ये ऑक्सीजन वाले कंसंट्रेटर भेजे, इससे मेरे गांव में जिनको कोरोना होगा उनकी हम जान बचा सकते हैं। थैंक यू अंकल। देखो मैंने उनके लिए पोस्टर भी बनाया।
Sonu, so many people out there thanking you, sending you their blessings, and it must be such a contented feeling, a satisfied feeling for all the work that you're putting out. I want to thank you once again for speaking to Republic and wish you all the best in all the endeavors and all the good work that you're doing.
Thank you, Sarah, and request to every viewer here that there are many people who need you. So just come forward and join hands, and let's make this world a better place to live in. And God bless you, and just keep shining always.
Oh yes, we need so many more like you. Thank you, Sonu Sood once again.
Thank you.